Hello again, everyone. Today I am profiling a small handmade watercolor maker from Germany called Watercolor Dshali. And as I've said before on the channel, since I've joined Instagram, it's kind of been bad for my wallet because I find all these small makers of various things that I want to support and I like their products and all of that. So this is one of those companies that I found on Instagram, but they are located on Etsy. The shop is on Etsy. So I will put a link down below to the shop. These ended up being a little bit expensive, partially because the prices are in euros and also partially because they only had full pans of the colors that I wanted to get. So I just got these 3 pans, and actually the shipping was fairly reasonable from Germany. And I got these additional samples, this little seashell here with a red color, and then these 2 little dot cards. So I'm going to swatch all of these for you today. And if it's anywhere close to the samples that I've seen on Instagram, these are bound to be really nice. So let's go ahead and get in here and get started. So I have my usual Pentalic field book with watercolor paper in it. Those are all ready to go. Actually, I think what I'm going to do is put a little bit of water on them. I have a water pot off to the side, and I am using a Rhapsody Sable brush, but I may have mentioned on the channel before that I really don't feel like I can put a link to this product anymore because it's just gone up so much in price at Jerry's Artorama, but that's where it is if you'd like to take a look. So I think natural hair brushes just generally have gone up a lot, and probably rightly so. I mean, synthetic brushes are now, I would say, approaching the same quality as natural hair brushes. Plus there's the whole ethical treatment of animals issue, and you know, it's probably better to go synthetic anyway. All right, so I just unwrapped this one, and it does have the color number on the back, but this is called Priority. And I love the little labels here. I'm just gonna put those off to the side. And then this one is number 34, called Library. This was actually the color that drew me to the shop after they had swatched it on Instagram. It's a really, really pretty purple color. And the little note that came with it said that if I was having trouble unwrapping these, that I could put them in a freezer for 30 minutes. It's funny because I had never gotten that advice before, and now this is the second time I've gotten that advice on handmade watercolors. It looks like these are fine, but I think that's a really good tip for the future. I was especially thinking that that would be good for Roman Schmal watercolors because they do have honey in them, and they sometimes, especially when they're new, they can be rather sticky. They do dry pretty hard eventually, but sometimes they have a little like baking paper or something over it that tends to stick, so that would be good. All right, so this last one is number 98, Petrichor. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and put some water on these as well, just a drop. And then I'm going to put them off to the side here, let that sit for just a minute while I swatch these colors. So all of these were samples that I did not select, but they came as samples. This one only has number 26 listed on the bottom. It looks like it might be a little iridescent. Let's see. It's definitely a beautiful, re-wetting very easily. Oh, that's pretty. Really nice deep red with some pinkish undertones. Really, really pretty. Very nice. I feel like there's so many new watercolor, handmade watercolor brands that are doing really seriously pigmented paint, which I love, and a lot of granulation as well. I think at least a couple of these are granulating. So yeah, it's kind of cool. So this little sample here is number 64. I can't really read that first way. It's that first word. It says Cornway, maybe? I don't know. But it's number 64. So this looks kind of like a yellow ochre. And I also may have mentioned before, I feel like I have like a billion yellow ochre watercolors. I don't know how this happened. And it's not even really my favorite color either. Okay, so, but this is a lovely yellow ochre color. It actually works really well in sort of a darker triad if you use this as your yellow, and then you could choose sort of a deep red and deep blue. They work really well to have sort of a muted triad. Maybe I should make up some of those so that I can use some of my yellow ochres. Okay, so this one is number 86.2. Clearly there are different versions of it, and this is a coral. So this one I'm kind of excited to see. I do love a good coral color. Ooh, I don't know that I would call that coral. That's a beautiful purple. I'll add a little bit more to the beginning of the swatch here. Yeah, that's pretty. Be interesting to compare that to this darker purple library. Okay, so this, let's see, which one? Oh, I got them out of order here. So this one is the library color. So I'm gonna do those over here next to it. And I mean, these re-wet super easy and really nicely. These do have ox gall in them, so that these are not vegan, just FYI. But oh my goodness, look at that beautiful, beautiful color. Ox gall is generally added as sort of a, oh, looks like I got a little drop of something there. Let me see. Probably from when I was flicking this paint around. Ox gall is sort of a flow agent, so it helps the watercolor to flow really well on the paper. There's synthetic ox gall as well, but I do not think that this is synthetic that is in here. Okay, so this next one is, oh, that's interesting. The petrichor is labeled a different number on the back of this pan than it is on the wrapper. Okay, so let's go ahead and see what that is. So on the label, it's labeled number 98, and then underneath it's labeled number 110 in parenthesis 1. So I'm mentioning those in case you're looking for these colors and they don't show up under one number, they might show up under the other. So this is a lovely complex earth color. This type of color is one that I've really been drawn to, and I apologize for the glare. That will dissipate once they dry a little bit, and I'll also put these closer up to the camera so that you can see them. But yeah, I've been really gravitating towards this sort of grayish brown that has some granulation in it. The granulation on these seems like it'll be pretty fine, like not super chunky granulation, but I'm okay with that. I like any kind of complexity in watercolor. All right, so this next one is number 45, Priority, which seems to be a lovely magenta type color. Oh yeah, this is gonna be great. This is also one of my favorite types of colors. Even though it's super bright, I rarely use it as is. This is super bright, I love it. But it's really good for mixing and creating sort of brightening up mixes. And this would probably be a good replacement for a magenta in as a primary red. You probably could even do this color and this color. I don't think I have a blue. I don't know. I mean, you could put the purple, but it wouldn't work right. So you would need a blue to fill out that. I didn't see any blues, but maybe I just ignored them because I do have several blues. Okay, so these are super pretty. So again, this red one here was number 26. This one was labeled 64. And then this one was labeled Coral, number 86.2. This one is number 34, which is called Library. This one is Petrichor, which is either number 98 or what was the other number? 110, parentheses 1. And then this one is number 45, Priority. So I would say that's more like a purple leaning magenta, but it's really pretty Really nice. That'd probably also be really good for florals. And so would this red, actually. All right, and you can definitely see some granulation happening here. I just feel like this kind of color, this is also kind of like a hematite or a violet hematite. Any color like that will sort of have this color separation where it has sort of a warm leaning grayish color underneath and then brown over the top. I really like that. And then there's some darker bits in the granulation, which is really nice. Let's see if you can see that closer up. And I think this one also has a little bit of granulation, which you can kind of see here at the end, but it's such a saturated color. I probably should have watered it out a little bit more. I might try doing that in future samples, like actually watering down the samples a bit more, because a lot of the granulating colors, that's the best way to see them, is to water them down a little bit more, but then you can't see the full saturation of color either, so I might try to do a combination of both. All right, well, that's all I had for you today. I just wanted to show you this new watercolor company and have you experience the first swatches with me. If you have any questions, feel free to ask below. Feel free to subscribe to keep track of future videos on my channel. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like. I hope to see you next time, but in the meantime, have a great day. Thanks so much. Bye.